Hello, everyone. My name is Kaysey Fields. I am a senior social work major from Richmond, Virginia. Today, I'll be discussing the loss of my grandmother, which is my mother's mother. On April 9th, 2016, I witnessed my grandmother take her last breath at MCP Hospital. And when I say witness, I was in the room when she took her last breath. The reason I chose the loss of my grandmother is because I was closer to her than my other grandmother. Um, we spent holidays together, which I did with my other grandmother, but it was more with this one, and also because I was in the room. And that's something that I would never forget. I would never forget the conversation that was going on. So it's like very significant. Sometimes I can replay the picture in my head, and not that it's like traumatizing or anything because I just can't remember it. That's how vivid it was, and I was still kind of young. When I actually lost my grandmother, I was in my second semester of my freshman year, which was difficult because I'm trying to wrap up my first year in college and get everything right to come back in the fall. So my family was checking on me during the process because they knew I had a lot of going on, like finals and things like that. The people that checked on me the most was my mother's sister and my closest cousin and my best friends. And I can tell that they knew that things wasn't right with me because I kind of started slacking in my classes and I wasn't myself. I would just not talk to people and be by myself, or if I was with people, I would just be distant. And once I realized that I have changed and that I fell off in classes, I used it as a motivation. My grandmother always told me how proud she was of me in school and that she couldn't wait for me to start my career. So I was like, she wouldn't want me failing classes. Like, that's not what she wants. While I was grieving, I realized that I had chronic grief because I was hopeless and in denial and lost. Um, some may say I was depressed, but I wasn't depressed. I was just kind of still in shock that I actually lost my grandmother. Well, I knew she was sick, so I knew for a while that this was going to happen. Once I received the call saying that my grandmother wasn't going to make it through the night, my friends at school, they all was there for me. They was hugging me, saying they were sorry, and if I need anything, that I can come to them. And then once I got home for 3, 4 days that I was home, they was checking on me every day, making sure I was okay, keeping me updated on what's going on in classes, and was letting my professors know what was going on. Even my best friend that was at GMU 3 hours away, she was still checking on me to make sure I was okay. And like I said before, my family was a support. It was a great support system as well. Their support was more when we was at the hospital visiting my grandma every day, sun up to sundown. We just we just made sure that each one of us was okay, that we wasn't like sad and depressed because we knew this time was going to come. It just came sooner than we thought because we had just found out that my grandmother had lung cancer about a month or two ago, and we didn't know that it was that far in the late stage where they couldn't do anything. So once we was at the hospital, we just talked about the good things that happened and not the bad things. We made each other laugh. We had food to make sure that everyone was eating and staying positive. Once I came back to school, the support system was still there for like a week, which is a part of the month and a half that I said they was supporting me. Um, Now that it's been 2 years, now I can talk about the death of my grandma more because I know she's in a better place and she's no longer suffering. But at first, I was just like, no, I'm okay. I don't want to talk. And it's not because I was depressed, but it was nothing to talk about because I knew she had cancer and I knew one day that she was going to leave this earth. So it was kind of expecting, but I just didn't want to talk about it. And everyone around me, they was fine. They was supporting me with my choice of not talking to them about it. They just always let me know that they love me, and if I need anything, for them to that call them and they would come or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's been 2 weeks since my grandmother passed, and now I just use it as my motivation to finish school and to make her proud and keep the family together because I know she's no longer suffering and she's in a better place now.